Welcome back to SatoshiConomy, Bitcoin, and peer-to-peer financial empowerment. Hashtag love all, serve others. It's all rigged. Yes, it's all rigged. What I'm going to talk about today is just the power of the social media in the age of the interwebs, and in light of everything that's going on in recent events, especially within like the last month. And I've looked at so many. What I try to do is curate information for myself and then just share some of the things that I find out. But in curating information, it's really difficult to many times tell what is the truth or what is trustworthy. And so how do we find out what's true and what's trustworthy? And in some of the discussions I've had with other people, not to the point of debate, but it depends. I mean, we will listen to whoever we want to. I mean, we will think the way we choose to, and many times we will not. Most of the time, in the moment, we will never be persuaded to think differently. And it's a beautiful thing because we have the right of choice, and that's really something that is the crux of why I'm doing this video right now, because I've been challenged very deeply, like you and everybody else in the world, about some of the recent events. And so I've had to ask myself some tough questions. I've taken a step back or two from posting, and I've done so by choice, just to really kind of mull over my thoughts and figure out, I've had to ask myself the question, what is the most important thing that I do, or what is the most important thing during my entire life? And other questions like, how do I figure out what is trustworthy and what is true? And so then, in thinking those things, as I've taken a step back, that I realized that the way that I answer that question, the way that anyone would answer that question, would greatly affect the way that we act in life. Now I'm going down this deep dive philosophical thinking, but that's what my intention in doing this short video. I just want to encourage everybody to do your own research. We've got to be so careful with who we even listen to, and then decide, what do we want to spend our time thinking about and acting on in our life? And so what I've done in the last month or so is realize that what I want to do and where I can have the greatest amount of impact is just with those in my arm's reach, who I've surrounded myself with, of course, family. And it has just really further strengthened me to continue doing that. That's what I have been doing. But one thing that really helped me to think through a lot of stuff, and I'll leave a link to this video. It was a recent one that was actually published on the internet only about 8 or 9 days ago by Ray Dalio. I'll leave a link to it in the show notes, and the title of it is How to Deal with the Changing World Order. And it's a very, very, extremely well done video. He also did one from several years ago, it might even be 7 or 8 years ago, which was like a 30-minute video, and it says how the economic machine works. And that's an iconic video. But the one that he recently published, he just talked about how some of the things in the events that are going on surprise him, but when he looks back, he realizes that the events surprise him because this is the first time that some of these things are taking place in his lifetime. But when you look back beyond his lifetime, he sees that these types of things, in a general way, are just repeating them. They've already repeated many, many times in the annals of history, going back thousands of years. And so there's this cyclical thing, and I think that a really good mandate for us is to, quote unquote, follow the money. And we hear the phrase "money makes the world go round," and I'm not saying that is the most important thing. Actually, what I would say is that is not the most important thing, because if you make money the most important thing, then it becomes an idol. Good luck with that. There are things that are more important, like people and time, and where we're going to spend all of our time. Is money important? Absolutely it is. That's why I research it. But the Ray Dalio, give me 24 hours to put a link to that. And also, I've been writing a short book called A Pleb's Treatise, a reveal of inevitable monetary disruption. And that is one thing that has really surfaced in my mind continually, that is pretty much a matter of fact, as what is really going on. I mean, the US dollar has been the world reserve currency since probably the 1920s, so over 100 years, but officially since the 1944 Bretton Woods Conference, the US dollar was pretty much given the scepter as a world reserve currency. But what we're seeing with Bitcoin and cryptos, that it enables people, it gives people a way around from being censored. And that's one thing that is troubling in today's day and age, is with what's going on in the Ukraine and in Canada, that people are having their money censored. And so there's been a great awakening of sorts as far as what people can do so that doesn't happen. Venezuela, there was news that they were censored off of participating in certain exchanges. The same with the Iranians. And then, and again, take all this with a grain of salt, but there's reports that I heard today that that have been on top of other reports that we've been seeing coming in, that like inside of Russia, like Lamborghini shut down, McDonald's, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, all these other corporations have shut down operations within their borders. And that, I mean, wow, my heart goes out to the people who are innocent there, who are greatly affected. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of jobs that are involved with all of that being shut down, and there's a lot of innocent people who are caught up in all of this. And I think that when we're able to take a step back and think about following the money in this, something we can do that, we can get a lot of answers, because money is, I think, the number one thing that people that people rationalize about. I mean, you can get some very decent and seemingly very incredibly awesome people who will, when it comes to money though, that they'll make these rationalizations about it, and then do things that, they'll continually do things that end up disenfranchising a lot of innocent people. But that's kind of the long and short of it. I just want to encourage everybody to do your own research, and then you even have to ask, what is the agenda here? I mean, is what I'm reading truth, or is it meant to manipulate me, or to confuse me, or to be a psyop of a greater umbrella of people or oligarchs who are trying to paint their own agenda so that they can gain whatever it is that they want. So I'll leave links in the video to those two topics that I mentioned, and appreciate any response or any comments. # love all, serve others. I wish you well. I wish you wealth. I wish you health. And until next time, peace.